Good morning, everybody. Welcome to eCommerce Expo. If I could ask you to put your headphones on if you can't hear me too well, the audio will be a little bit better through that. So, welcome to our session today, focusing on the marketplace and dropship model. Without further ado, we'll kick on with things. So, I'm Tom Evans, the retail lead across the UK, Ireland and Nordics at Mirakl. For those who don't know us, we are a French headquartered marketplace and dropship solution. But what does that mean? The heart of what we do as retailers is supporting the needs of our customers. And Mirakl sits in between those demands for the customers, but then also your suppliers, your sellers, and the brands that you work with. If we look on the left-hand side here, Mirakl allows these brands, sellers, suppliers to connect to your customers in a way that suits them best depending on their digital maturity, whether that is via aggregators, seller connectors, or flat file, Excel spreadsheets, etc. Within the supplier back office, the sellers can monitor their orders, upload their catalogs, upload their inventories, but obviously as a retailer, you want to protect your brand image, that customer experience. So there's that curation layer with the operator office to understand what's happening, who's performing well, who's not, and who you need to keep in check. It's one thing having a piece of technology to do this, but it needs to align with your business objectives and what your strategy is moving forward. If we look here, we've got a number of our existing customers and how they're using the marketplace or dropship platform model to meet their customer needs. If we take Decathlon, for instance, they're a trusted retailer in the sporting goods across Northern Europe, whereas the customer perception of Decathlon is maybe a little bit lower end. But working with the likes of Adidas and using the marketplace model, they've been able to 6 times their catalog with Adidas in the men's clothing and 5 times that within women's. And offering this wider selection builds that rapport, and working with these higher suppliers improves that customer experience and that brand image. If we take ASOS, for instance, it's been well reported of their overstock issues over recent years, and as they shift there and look to improve their profitability by enhancing their partner fulfills program, they invest less in inventory, they go direct from the brand's warehouse to the consumers, improving their profitability, and they've had some significant improvements in their recent results. Superdrug. Without buyers needing to buy stock and fulfill these new products, by going direct from their warehouses, Superdrug can understand how their customers are going to respond to these new products across sustainable, women-owned, and representing the BAME community. So these are just a few examples of our customers and how they are leveraging the marketplace or dropship model. One of our headline clients here in the UK is B&Q. Quarter on quarter, they impressed us, and year on year with their marketplace growth. In just over 1 year, they've scaled from 40,000 products online to over 700,000. They are DIY.com, and they know that they need to be that. They need to offer the consumer choice because they were facing increased competition from the likes of Mano, those pure play marketplaces coming in from overseas. And so by doubling down on what they can offer their consumer without having to buy, stock, fulfill it, at the end of the day, your warehouses are 4 walls and a roof. You can only stock so many products. But via the marketplace, you then have an endless aisle. Quite interestingly, this has been a massive traffic driver for B&Q, with 30% of their marketplace sales and are new customers to B&Q. And 10% of these new customers are then going on to purchase a first-party product alongside that third-party product as well. And last but not least, for myself, we've touched on the technology. When it comes to the expertise, we've launched over 350 marketplace and dropship programs across the world, be it in retail, distributors, manufacturers. We've done it all, from ASOS, Debenhams to Airbus helicopters. Along this journey, you experience a lot, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You take the good, we replicate it. The bad stuff, we learn from it, and we share that with our customer base moving forward. But finally, the ecosystem. Without the seller base, without the technology partners, you're never going to grow and scale as fast as you need to make the most of the marketplace and dropship model. And so without further ado, I'd like to bring Michael from Pertemba Global on stage, Seller of the Year at our recent Mirakl Summit in London, where we're going to have a quick chat about things to consider when launching marketplace, how to work well with sellers, and here we go. Hello, can you hear me? There we go.
Can you hear us? Okay, good.
Great, so I guess that, Michael, if you'd like to introduce yourself to everyone who's joined us on this fine morning.
Of course, hi everybody. So I'm Michael Joules, I'm the head of marketplaces at Pertemba Global, so UK-based retailer based in Leicester. We are a business with quite a unique business model in that we partner with suppliers, with brands, with manufacturers to open up the world of marketplaces to these brands, suppliers. So we take care of all the heavy lifting to list their products on over 120 marketplaces worldwide, and that includes 40 plus Mirakl marketplaces, including the likes of Debenhams in the UK, Coles in America, 9 Decathlons. The list really goes on.
So you've listed a lot of marketplaces there, so it'd be good to understand how you represent a number of brands, and how do various marketplaces react to the products you sell, and then how do you decide about which products go on which marketplaces?
Okay, so I guess we're a bit of a dream actually for any kind of operator, because we come with a shed load of brands, 380,000 SKUs. So actually when it comes to curation, we can work really closely with operators to say, what do you want from us? Do you want everything? Okay, great. Or are you Decathlon and you're a sports marketplace, you just want sports technology products? Fine, we'll give you them. Or do you want to curate it further? And we can really work in any way we can. And also this works in our favour massively when we talk about Australian marketplaces like Catch, because we can sell bikinis in December. We're not going to sell them here. So it really opens up our model to best utilise our product throughout the whole year.
And then you've mentioned Catch there. Staying a little bit closer to home, let's take Decathlon for instance.
Yeah.
As I touched on at the start, the UK perception of Decathlon is potentially slightly different to that of Northern Europe, say France.
Mm-hmm.
How is your experience on those different markets, even though it's the same retailer?
It's a really good question, and we very much have different account managers as such looking after accounts. So our account with Decathlon in Switzerland is very, very different to the Decathlon account in the UK. So we work very closely there to learn what do they want, because they want different products. And actually we're fortunate that we can give them the different products. So the key for us is we're not going to drown any operator with products. We will give them what they want and really not upset them. That's our goal there.
And then I guess you've touched on it's really important to have those account managers and that local expertise. What other expertise and must-haves do you can elaborate on that account manager piece as well, but what other must-haves do you have when it comes to working with marketplace operators?
Okay, cool. So I guess a big part of my job is going out and looking for new marketplaces for our business. So we've got kind of 40, 50 in the pipeline. We'll open on a new marketplace every 2 weeks. So we're looking firstly for a credible platform. Ideally, we want a website or a company that's very well known, so we can really ride off the back of that credibility. And then we're very much looking for a synergy with our products. We predominantly stock clothing, apparel, so we're not going to go onto a perfume or a jewelry marketplace. So number one, let's get that right. And then ideally for us, regardless of if it's a Mirakl marketplace or a non-Mirakl marketplace, it's a relatively easy integration. And that's not to say if we need to do a custom API integration, we won't do that, because we will. It just won't be as quick, it won't be as easy. So that's where the Mirakl ones for us are nice and easy. And I guess, we sell on 120 plus marketplaces all over the world. I've never been to Mexico, but we sell in Mexico. So we're going to lean on account management in Mexico to advise us on what we should be doing. What should our pricing strategy look like? What brands are they looking at in countries like that? The same with Tienda Mia in Latin America. We don't know the market, the account managers do, and that's where anybody selling should really lean on these account managers, and that's additionally where operators do really well, where they're set up to support sellers actually by sharing that sort of information.
And at the start there, you said credible.
Yeah.
What does credibility mean?
Credibility means trust. So you think of Macy's, you think of trust. You think of Decathlon, you think of trust. These are known household names. That's where we would like to be.
And your bread and butter is selling on marketplaces, but it seems that you won't just sell on anything. If there's someone who maybe has bad reputation, bad customer image, you're more than happy to walk away from those sales if they don't have that trust and credibility.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for us, we need to remember we've got to look after our business. Yes, we could grow sales here or there, but actually, how does that sit alongside our Pertemba business? We want to be around for many years to come and continue growing. We want to stay clear of that.
And then you've mentioned how many marketplaces again?
123 as of last week.
123, 40 of those Mirakl. I'm assuming you work with the likes of Amazon, eBay, and the likes. What does that breakdown look like, if you don't mind me asking, going from these large behemoths, traditional marketplaces, compared to retailers who may have only recently adopted the model in the past 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, so I guess one of the most interesting statistics I've heard actually about our business is that 4 years ago, 80-85% of revenue came from Amazon. Last year it was 20%. And actually, as anybody knows, selling on Amazon, it's just a massive risk in itself. Overnight, your account could be shut down. Your revenue could be turned off for 3 weeks. So actually, for us, it's about spreading that risk and actually opening up more opportunities for growth. So we do still have Amazon. It's still a key part of our business. We still do trade on eBay. It's a key part of our business. But actually, the likes of Debenhams, Kohl's, Belk, Walmarts, they all make up a really integral part as well.
And obviously I can only speak for Mirakl marketplaces, but when it comes to that onboarding process and listing your products, what does that look like? If you could give us a couple of scenarios of both Mirakl and maybe elsewhere, that'd be good to understand.
Yeah, cool. So I guess Mirakl, so really recently actually, so we use Mirakl Connect actively. So if anyone's heard of Reitmans, the predominantly women's fashion retailer in Canada, I had my first conversation with Reitmans at the beginning of September. We were live last week and got our first orders over the weekend. So we're kind of talking 3 to 4 weeks on a Mirakl marketplaces between initial conversations between me and the marketplace to going live. That's not to say that there aren't marketplaces outside of Mirakl that move pretty fast. If there are marketplaces that work with the likes of Channel Advisor, they're also pretty easy. But actually, if you talk outside of that, you might be talking months, you might be talking even longer, and it really depends how attentive operators are to the marketplaces, to speaking to sellers, to speaking to us, to how quickly we can get moving. So yeah, for us, Mirakl ones move very quickly, and we can pretty much, once we get the, I guess, to talk through the process, so we kind of, I have initial discussions with an operator and say, hey, here are our brands, what do you think? Here's our pricing structure, what do you think? And they would generally make a selection from there. We kind of get the contracts and the boring bits out the way. We decide, is it marketplace, is it dropship? And then as soon as we get access, our tech team, which is only a small tech team, probably a week, a week of work, and we'll be live, and we'll see orders the first day, first 2 days. So it's incredible.
So you mentioned marketplace and dropship there. Two similar but different operating models. With marketplace, it's a typical commission-based model. You do not take ownership of the product. It's more of an agency relationship. Dropship, the product is fulfilled from the supplier's warehouse. You do take ownership, but you control the price. Dropship, marketplace 101. Any other questions, let us know. From a onboarding perspective, how does the marketplace and dropship route to sale look?
Very similar, actually, for us. So we, without getting too technical, we pretty much set our wholesale price and we said this is what we want, and then we advise operators on here's an RRP, but at that point that's up to you. How low do you want to drive that price? How high do you want to drive that price? Are we talking a market in Switzerland or Dubai, where the pricing structure is going to be completely different to Europe? And so technically very similar, but actually more of the onus there actually is on the operator.
And then in terms of the two operating models, do you see a preference for some in certain regions, or is it a little bit very much dependent on the retailer or operator?
Yeah, I think for us, we kind of see 95% of our models are traditional marketplace commission models, and there are only a handful that are actually dropship. It's quite niche, but interesting, in the last couple of months, there's been more conversation around it. So it could be coming more.
And putting you on the spot here a little bit, which do you prefer?
Marketplace.
We've still got 9 minutes, don't worry. I know we've spoke about the number of brands you work with. How do you grow these relationships with your marketplace operators? Is it a soft launch with a brand to build their trust, or is it a big bang, or does it vary from operator to operator?
Yeah, and if you'd have asked this 2 years ago, I would have said big bang, but I guess we're on 100 plus marketplaces now, so where we're going is pretty unknown. So, in the last few weeks, we've launched on the likes of Walmart Mexico, Reitman's in Canada, TikTok USA. Actually, it's getting softer because we're selling more overseas, and actually what we need to do with operators is build their trust. And actually, for me, sat in Leicester saying, please let us list 300,000 SKUs, they're not going to say yes. But I said, please let us list 1 or 2 brands. Give us 4 weeks to prove to you that our stocks are accurate, that we can deliver quickly, that you can trust us. And I can guarantee in 4 weeks, 6 weeks, they'll be back saying, give us more. So it very much depends on us proving ourselves to them. And we're confident enough that we can do that. We work really closely with our suppliers so that everything just flows smoothly.
And you've mentioned a lot of marketplaces from all over the globe there. Cross-border is a problem everyone's trying to solve, whether that's in the US with their tricky tax codes, whether that is shipping into Europe, that is sellers shipping into the UK. How are Pertemba dealing with that? You're obviously Pertemba Global, but it'd be good to understand how you're dealing with those challenges.
Okay, so I guess number one, we do all the logistics ourselves. So we have our warehouse in Leicester, where probably 80% of our products moves through. We have a warehouse in Poland to service European marketplaces that are not IOSS registered. Ideally they would be, we've got more stock in the UK, but that's a way around that. We've got a warehouse in the US, and we're integrated, I think, 5 or 6 major carriers. We can offer pretty much every service possible. So whatever an operator wants us to do, we can pretty much do it. And actually, Pertemba as a business is a tech business. Everything is built in-house. It's been built by our founder. So actually, anything we have, we can change and we can adapt, so that there aren't any blockers. And for us, we make sure that we send everything, taxes paid, duties paid. There's never any questions for the customer. So sometimes we take a hit, but actually what we're trying to do is make it effortless, because it hasn't been effortless and it's been difficult. So actually setting ourselves up in a way that for our customers, regardless of where they are, they're getting a very good, very similar experience to a domestic UK customer.
I finished that question with the word challenge, but I guess the real question is, more of a statement. It's the opportunity, isn't it? Like you say, you've grown from a warehouse in Leicester and now you're shipping worldwide. What's next for Pertemba?
So we have a pipeline, 40, 50 marketplaces, 2 a week. So I guess we're growing the 2 strands. So we're always looking to bring in new suppliers. But we're also looking to always bring in new marketplaces, which comes with difficulties, with nuances. So we're talking to, as an example, we're talking to Noon in Dubai. That means a trade license. What do we need to do there? So it's about pushing what we're doing to open up opportunities. We're always on the lookout for marketplaces that suit the brands that we hold, but we're also always speaking to our suppliers and our brands to say, where do you want to be? And similarly, we're also speaking to our operators, to the marketplaces, to say, which brands would you like to stock? Because we can probably speak to them. So we're just trying to approach it from all angles to continue growing.
And arguably the biggest marketplace out there, Amazon, they have evolved over times with the fulfillment by Amazon model, retail media. The margins in that area are huge. You're monetizing space on your website that already exists with huge margins. When it comes to Pertemba and the marketplaces you sell on, what is your attitude to retail media, and how are you working with these operators to get your products in front of the right people at the right time?
So we are very much always willing to try. So we will always invest. Whenever we launch on a new marketplace, we will give whatever sort of marketing a go, whether that's paying to secure slots on the homepage or traditional kind of sponsored products type marketing. And with results comes trust. And sometimes, especially with new marketplaces or operators that have set up new marketplaces, we don't see results. So actually the ones that perform best are the ones where they're established, they're actively managed, and we can see a return. So yeah, we're always willing to give it a go. And that doesn't mean we don't do the traditional advertising on the likes of Amazon or eBay, because that still does yield results. But as a business, yeah, always willing to invest, and with results comes confidence.
A few minutes left, so we'll open the floor up to a few questions if anyone has any. But just before that, it's really a two-pronged question. Advice for brand sellers looking to sell on marketplaces or via dropship. What have you got for them?
So as a seller, definitely get the basics right. Get your architecture right. Know that you can trust your stock. Know that your data is rich. Know that your images are good. That's half the battle. And then really, when you are looking at marketplaces, is speak to the marketplace. Speak to the operators. Like I said earlier, they're the people with the knowledge. You know, we don't know what's going on in Canada as we do in the UK. Really speak to them and leverage them, because they can really support you with anything that you need. You know, it works for them as it works for us. And then on the flip side of that, for operators, is absolutely engage with sellers. You know, I would rather someone say to me, Mike, I want to speak to you once a week, than someone say, I'll speak to you every 6 months. Because they're the marketplaces where engagement's going to be pretty low. We're probably not going to drive as much new product as we can. But also the marketplaces that really build themselves out and have established teams and account management in place. I'm thinking the marketplaces such as Debenhams or Mirakl Warehouse, who really engage with us, who don't have a huge list of products pending to be approved, that are sat there losing money. They're the marketplaces that really perform well, and will see continued growth.
Excellent. We do have 2 minutes left. I don't know if we do have a microphone that's going to go around, but bottom right. Oh, you got a question? Sorry.
No.
You've got the microphone. There's a guy bottom right, if you wouldn't mind.
Hello. Hi. Thanks. I think it's on the back of what you just said, and apologies for the direct approach, but it is a sort of a message to everyone here. If you did want to talk to one of the marketplaces, I am here from Decathlon, and if you are interested in talking about our experience from Decathlon or potentially selling on Decathlon, you can have a chat with me after the talk.
Michael, could I just ask you, it's a fantastic story. How long has Pertemba been going? How's your path of growth been from start to where you've got to now?
So the parent company, Universal Textiles, started in 2009 as predominantly selling socks and underwear on the traditional old school marketplaces. And then Ravi, our founder, kind of revolutionized it in 2015 to be primarily marketplace focused and opening out the suppliers and the brands that we worked with. So since 2015 is very much when Pertemba's been in place and continued year-on-year growth since then.
I believe that is us at time. So, Michael, thank you very much for sharing your experience, your insights. Appreciate everyone taking the time to listen to us. Enjoy the rest of your day. And we're going to be at L68 just behind you. There's a big box that says Mirakl if you want to ask us about our technology experiences or any case studies. Thank you very much.